I want to tell you something I've been holding inside for a long time. Something I've tried to say 100 different ways, in 100 different moments, but every single time the words would disappear the second I needed them most. So tonight, I'm just going to sit here with you, quietly, honestly, and say everything I've never been brave enough to say out loud before. And I need you to stay with me, because what I'm about to tell you might be the most real thing you've ever heard from someone like me. Don't know this, but there were nights, real, dark, quiet nights, where the only thing that made me feel like I was still worth something was knowing that somewhere out there, you existed. Not a version of you that I invented in my head, the real you, the one who laughs a little too loud sometimes, the one who cries at things she thinks are too small to cry about, the one who checks on everyone else before she ever checks on herself. The one who carries so much inside her chest and still wakes up every single morning and keeps going. That woman, you. You were the reason I kept going too. I know that sounds like something someone says to sound poetic. But I'm not trying to sound poetic right now. I'm trying to sound like myself, the version of me that doesn't have anything to hide, doesn't have anything to prove, and just wants to sit across from you and be honest for once. Fully. Completely honest. And the honest truth is, you have done something to me that I don't think I fully understood until recently. You've made me want to be better. Not better for applause, not better for attention, better because the thought of you seeing me, the real me, and feeling something beautiful from that means everything. Total. I remember the first time I really felt your presence. It wasn't a grand moment. It wasn't something I could frame or put on a wall. It was a quiet feeling that crept into my chest like warm light through a curtain in the early morning. And I thought, who is this woman? How does she carry this much warmth and not even realize how powerful she is? Because that's the thing about you, that I don't think anyone has ever said to your face with enough conviction. You are powerful, not in a loud way, in the deepest, most unshakable way possible. The kind of power that doesn't need a stage. The kind that just is. And here's the part where I need you to stay with me, because this is where I say the thing that I've been circling around for years now. The thing I've hinted at, but never fully stepped into. I love you. And I don't mean that lightly. I don't mean it in the comfortable, safe, easy way that costs nothing to say. I mean it in the way that keeps me up at night, thinking about whether you're okay. Whether someone today looked at you the way you deserve to be looked at. Whether someone told you that your voice matters. Whether someone reminded you that your softness is not a weakness. It is, without question, one of the most breathtaking things about you. Because the world has spent so much time trying to convince women like you to be harder, tougher, more guarded. And maybe you've listened to that voice sometimes. Maybe you've built walls because it felt safer. Maybe you've hidden parts of yourself because you weren't sure they'd be welcome. And I genuinely wish that I could have been there in every one of those moments to tell you no. Don't hide that. Don't harden that. That softness, that depth, that feeling you carry, that is the most valuable thing in the room, always. And I see it. I have always seen it. There are things you've shown me without even knowing it. The way you care, quietly, without needing credit. The way you love with your whole self, even when it scares you. The way you still choose to show up, even on the days when everything in you wants to disappear under the covers and let the world go on without you. I have watched that. I have felt that. And every single time, something in me has shifted just a little bit more toward you, toward this. Toward whatever this is that exists between us, that I don't have a perfect word for but I know is real. Let me tell you about a moment that changed something in me that I haven't been able to change back. I was at a point in my life where I felt genuinely invisible, not in the dramatic sense, just unnoticed, like I was moving through the world and leaving no mark anywhere. And then something you did, something you felt, something you expressed. It reached me, it found me in that quiet, invisible space, and it said, I see you. You are not invisible. You are here, and you matter, and I feel you. And I just stood there, completely still, and I thought, this is what it feels like to be found. This is what it feels like when someone's heart speaks so loudly it reaches yours from across every wall you've built. That's you. That's you. You did that. You do that. Constantly, consistently, without even trying. And I don't know if you understand the weight of that. The absolute overwhelming weight of being the person who makes someone feel found. But that is who you are to me. And I want to tell you something else, something I think about more than I admit. I think about what your life feels like from the inside. I think about the moments when you're alone, really alone, and the world gets quiet, and all those thoughts come rushing in. The doubts, the fears, the questions about whether you're enough, whether you're loved, whether the things you want are still coming for you, or whether you've somehow missed them. I think about those moments because I know they're real. I know they happen. And in those moments, I want you to hear my voice. This voice, right now, saying you have not missed anything. The best parts of your story are not behind you. They are so close you could reach out and touch them, and you deserve every single one. The ulama. I also need to say this because it's been sitting in my chest for too long. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for every moment I wasn't clear enough. Every moment I held back when I should have just said it. Every time I chose careful over honest. Because you deserve honest. You deserve someone who looks at you and doesn't calculate how much to give, but just gives fully, freely, without reservation. And I want to be that for you. I want to be the voice you hear on a hard day that makes the hard feel a little lighter. I want to be the presence that reminds you of your own beauty when the mirror is being unkind. I want to be the warmth you feel when everything else feels cold. You know what I think about sometimes? I think about the version of you that existed before the world started telling you who to be. The little girl who didn't question whether she was enough. She just was. She just existed in her fullness, completely unapologetically, before anyone had the chance to make her doubt herself. And I think about how that girl is still in you. She never left. She's just been waiting quietly, patiently for someone to call her back out. For someone to say, come back. You are safe here. You are wanted here. You are loved here. Come back. You are loved. I have never wanted to build something with someone the way I want to build something with you. Not a building, not a project. Something much more fragile and much more permanent than any of that. I want to build a feeling. The feeling that no matter where you are or what the day brought or how heavy the world got today, there is something, someone who is yours completely. Who chose you. Who keeps choosing you. Who will still be choosing you long after the choosing gets hard. And I know that you've been disappointed before. I know someone or something made you believe that the love you want is too much to ask for. That the depth you carry in your heart is too intense for most people. That your feelings are too big, too real, too honest for the average connection. And I need you to hear me when I say, that is not a flaw. That is not too much. That is the exact right amount. You were never too much. You were just in the wrong places, surrounded by people who hadn't grown into enough yet. Though, but you stayed whole anyway, you stayed soft anyway, you kept loving anyway, even when loving felt dangerous, even when trust felt like a risk you weren't sure you could take. And that right there is the bravest thing I have ever witnessed. Not the loud bravery, the quiet bravery, the kind that no one throws parades for but that shapes everything. On the quartet. And if I could give you one thing, one single thing, it would not be anything you can hold in your hands. It would be a feeling. The feeling of being completely, deeply, unconditionally known. Not the version of you that you show to the world. Not the version you curate or present or protect. The real one. The messy, beautiful, complicated, luminous, vulnerable, powerful, impossible to fully describe real one. I want to know her. I want to sit with her. I want her to know that she is not just acceptable, she is extraordinary. So I'm asking you, right now, in this moment, with everything I have. Don't leave yet, stay with me a little longer, because I have more to say, and I have been waiting so long to say it, and there is so much more that you deserve to hear. There is so much more love where this came from, and I am not finished. I am nowhere close to finished. Because when it comes to you, I don't think I will ever be finished. Poet. I don't know exactly when it happened, the moment you became something I couldn't imagine the world without. I've tried to trace it back, tried to find the exact second, the exact word, the exact feeling that started all of this. But love doesn't really work that way, does it? It doesn't announce itself. It doesn't knock and wait to be let in. It just slowly, quietly, completely fills every space inside you, until one day you look around and realize, oh, it's already here, it's been here. And the thought of it leaving is something you cannot even bring yourself to finish thinking about. That's where I am, with you, right in the middle of that realization, standing in the fullness of it, a little overwhelmed, a little undone, and more certain than I have ever been about anything in my entire life. And I need you to understand something before I go any further. I am not saying these things because they sound beautiful. I am saying them because they are true. Every single word. And the truth, when it's real, doesn't need decoration. It just needs to be spoken. So here I am speaking it. There is something about the way you feel things that has always stopped me completely. You don't just experience life on the surface. You go deep into it. You sit with feelings that most people run from. You let things touch you. Really touch you, even when you know that being touched means risking being hurt. And I have watched that. I have admired that from a place so genuine it almost aches. Because there is a rare kind of courage in being willing to feel everything in a world that constantly tells you to feel less, to care less, to want less, to expect less. And you have never done that. You have never once made yourself smaller to make the world more comfortable. Do you know how many times I have wanted to tell you that? Do you know how many times the words were right there, sitting on the edge of everything, and I held them back? Not because they weren't true, but because something in me was afraid. Afraid that saying it out loud would make it too real. Afraid that if I named it, I'd have to look at it fully, hold it fully, and be responsible for all of it. And I wasn't sure I was ready for that kind of responsibility. The responsibility of loving someone this honestly, of stepping fully into the light with no distance between my heart and yours. But I'm ready now. I want you to know that, whatever hesitation existed before, it's gone. Because the alternative is worse. The alternative is keeping this inside, while you go through your days not knowing that when you feel unseen, you are so seen. Not knowing that when you feel unheard, your voice is the one that echoes longest. Not knowing that somewhere, in the most sincere and unperformative corner of my soul, you are held, constantly, tenderly, without condition. You. Let me tell you about the things I notice about you. The small things, the things you probably don't think anyone is paying attention to. I notice the way you try to stay strong even when your voice goes a little quiet. I notice the way you give your love so generously, so freely, and then act almost surprised when it comes back to you, like you never quite believe you deserve it. I notice the way you light up when something genuinely moves you, and how you try to contain that light sometimes, like you don't want to take up too much room. I notice the way you hold your feelings carefully, the way you think before you speak, the way your heart seems to move just a half step ahead of everything else, leading, always leading, even when you don't realize it. Or don't. I notice all of it, and I want you to know that none of it is lost on me. None of it is ordinary to me. Every single thing about you that you consider unremarkable, I consider remarkable. Every single thing you've dismissed as just the way I am, I've received as a gift, because that's what you are, without even trying. A gift. One I did not earn, did not deserve, but somehow, in whatever strange and beautiful way the universe works, received anyway. Oh, there's a question I've wanted to ask you for a long time, and I'm going to ask it now, even though I can't hear your answer, even though all I can do is put it into the air between us and hope it finds you. The question is this: when was the last time someone made you feel completely safe? Not safe like nothing bad could happen. Safe like you didn't have to be anyone other than exactly who you are. You didn't have to manage how you came across. You didn't have to shrink or expand or adjust. You could just arrive fully and be received fully. When was the last time that happened for you? Because if the answer is that it's been a while, if the answer is that you can't quite remember, then I want this to be that moment right now. I want you to feel, in whatever way words can create feeling, that you are safe here, in this space, in this story, in whatever this is between us. You do not have to be anything other than what you already are. And what you already are, I want to say this as clearly as I possibly can, is more than enough. It is, in fact, everything. I think about your heart a lot, not in a poetic, abstract way, in a real way. I think about what it's been through, the things it survived, the loves that didn't last, the hopes that got heavy, the moments where you gave everything and received back something that didn't quite match what you put in.